Alright. Good? Alright. So, my name's Dalton. This is my wife, Sierra. And I just want to kind of give you guys a basic overview of what this channel is about and kind of how it's changed and things like that, to give people a little more understanding as to why it's changed like it has. When the hurricane came through, there was a lot of questions, and there was a lot of unanswered questions that, while everything was going on, the county really didn't want to answer, and people were wondering about their houses. I mean, they were wondering about their livelihoods, like they were wondering about, all their material possessions, because, like so many of us, we've worked our entire lives to have everything that, we see and interact with on a daily basis. And so, essentially, a lot of the videos that you're probably going to see here in the early beginning are going to be probably poorly edited, and screen recordings of Facebook Live videos where I've addressed the people on Facebook and the different communities and pages around here. And so I apologize for that, but I've really kind of noticed a need as far as people have questions and they don't like the answers that they're getting from the local government. They don't like the answers that they're getting from local people that they're supposed to trust. And so I wouldn't necessarily call myself a journalist. I don't think I'm a journalist, and I'm not going to esteem myself with that title, because I think that leaves a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But essentially, I think that a lot of people just need an honest, down-home person to really dig into their story and to give them the honest truth about the situation that's going on. If you guys have a story, if you guys have something there that you want the public to know, I feel like I could be that voice, in that I could be a credible, quote-unquote news source for a lot of people. Just even sitting here in this barn kind of ties me into a lot of the things that I'm thinking about when I talk to people and when I interact with people. And I think my wife would even say that I'm starting to get pretty passionate about all the people that I've been talking to and the different things that we've been doing. I mean, countless hours on the phone, countless research, going to the library, taking pictures all over the public,
moving down driveways,
just all sorts of things. I think that this issue that we're really covering right now, which is Hurricane Debby, here in the local Manatee County Parish area, is such a complex issue. And the fact that a lot of the different people are telling very conflicting things is super, super discrediting to both journalism and to just people in the general public eye. Like, numbers don't lie. If somebody says a number, they should stick to that number. The number shouldn't constantly change, and if it does change, then they should address as to why it changed. And I think that's what a lot of people are picking up on. And with just the climate today, as far as the way that people view journalism, whether it be right or left or anything like that, I think that's a big problem. And so I want to try and cover content in a neutral sphere. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I have a opinion one way or the other on certain topics, but I want to kind of give people an outlet to tell their story and to tell, their story the way that they think it should be told, and not necessarily whatever story that the media has out there. And I'm not discrediting the media in any way. I just feel like they're very restricted in a lot of the ways that they can tell their stories, and the time frame is a big problem. a lot of the journalists that I've spoke to have expressed that, you know, there's been a lot of salary cuts and a lot of positions have been condensed, and so they're only able to tell these 3 to 5 minute stories, and they kind of can, you know, unfortunately they kind of can only tell certain parts of it or certain sides of it or whatever fits into the broader narrative as far as the network goes. So with all that being said, I think if I have the tools, you know, the tools are there. If the public sees a need and I see the need, like, you know, why not do it? Why not do like everybody else is doing and kind of, unfortunately, like jump on the bandwagon and essentially, you know, make myself useful for the public. Anything you want to add? You know, anything you want to say?
Not really. I mean, you're kind of hitting everything,
You know,
on the head.
Like I said, I definitely wouldn't call myself a journalist. I definitely wouldn't call myself a reporter. I wouldn't call myself an activist. I wouldn't call myself any of that. I'm just a person that sees a need in the communities, I feel like, and I feel like the public as a whole should be able to tell their story, and they should be able to say, you know, the things that they feel the general public should know. And we live in such an age now where everybody has social media, pretty much almost everybody. I wouldn't say everybody, but almost everybody has social media, you know, other than people that are older that didn't grow up with it. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that do, but we've seen, even with Debbie, that a lot of the messaging platforms that a lot of these municipalities and stuff are using, unfortunately, are not places that everybody thinks to look. You know, I've seen a lot of people go to Facebook and they have went into their own community groups. You know, specifically one here that we've seen a lot of questions asked was PPN, Parish Parents Network, because we live in Parish, and so I had a need, because we live off of 675 in Parish, to essentially keep coming down here and watching the flood levels and watching how the water was flowing and how bad the road was flooded and things. And so when we and when I say we, it was me and somebody else that is, you know, he needs no introduction. Me and him canoed down 675 and got that drone footage via his drone of the local area. You know, we essentially addressed a lot of people's concerns right there. Yeah, I know there's a lot. And so that kind of started all this out of the blue, and so a lot of it wasn't thought about in a journalist aspect of filming on a GoPro with, you know, 4K quality. And with all that being said, I hope that I do myself justice and the people that I interview and the stories that I cover justice. And I'll get better as time goes on. That's undoubtable. I just wanted to kind of put this video out here to the public to let you guys know, like, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for everybody. And I've told every single news outlet that I've went on that exact same thing. Now, it hasn't made it on the news, but I've told them that, and they have it on film somewhere, whether they report that or not. I seek no fame. I seek no glory from this. I seek no gratification from this. I just feel like the general public needs a voice in this community. And there is a lot of good journalists. There is a lot of good news anchors. There is a lot of good people out there. And I've talked with them that want to cover more. They want to do more. They're just constricted. And yeah, like us, you know, I mean, you see, I mean, we're there. You see the you know, the cows that were behind us, or, you know, at least the pasture that's back there behind us. There's a lot of people affected that are going through a hard time right now with animals, and us is included in that. Unfortunately, we have horses over here that were boarded up for going on 2.5 weeks. Well, yeah, no, actually, yeah, you're right. It was a month. Our donkeys, which are not here, they'd probably be braying their heads off. They'd be over here to my left, and they're still not here. We need to go get them and bring them back. But the question is, as you guys can probably hear in the background, it's thundering. There's nowhere for the water to go. And so I've spent, just me and my wife have spent hundreds of dollars on this place out of our own pocket that FEMA's not giving us no money. And hours of time, because we were flooded literally up to basically this third board, possibly a little higher. It seems like in some places. I would say definitely up to the top of the third board at least, where we lost everything. We lost everything in our barn. We lost everything in our equipment barn. We didn't lose anything in the house, fortunately. I wouldn't say unfortunately. Let me not misspeak, but like we didn't lose anything in the house. But we're very blessed that it's not as bad for us. But there's definitely a lot of people out there that I've noticed do have it worse. And I mean, we've already filled almost 2 30-yard dumpsters. Granted, we are taking our time and we are going through things instead of just chucking stuff and saying that's garbage. But a lot of people do not have that privilege. A lot of people did lose their house. They did have to rip out all their drywall. They did practically lose everything that they owned because, like one lady that I talked to put it, she called, she was out of state, and her neighbor said everything was fine. Called back an hour later and her house was flooded, and I've heard so many stories like that, and it's so sad. I like that a lot of these news reporters and these journalists and stuff are covering some of their story, and that we are getting this national attention, but there's not anybody that I've found. There is most probably pages out there, I just don't know of them or haven't found them yet, that there should be a longer discussion. There should be back and forth. There should be comparison of notes kind of conversation. And I hope that everybody gives me a chance to be that platform, because I feel like a lot of people need that platform, especially now. There's so many different stories and there's so many different challenges that people are dealing with. And I feel a calling to cover that in my spare time, and it could possibly become a full-time thing, depending on how well you guys view it and how generous you guys are with watching the videos all the way, liking and subscribing to this channel, and giving me your comments, giving me your feedback, telling me how I can improve. And as things progress, I'm sure things will change. I might be able to afford an editor. I might be able to afford better equipment, cover more stories, different things like that. The opportunity's there. It's wide open. I just essentially, wanted, like I said, I wanted to get this out there, and I wanted to get this out in the open first and foremost, to give you guys an explanation as to what to look for. I'm not going to cover anything else on this channel. I'm not going to do like daily vlogs or anything like that. I think right now this channel just needs to be pure story driven, covering things that are a problem in the communities, not just with flooding, but with everything in general. So if you guys don't mind, please like, subscribe, comment, share this content. I need at least 50 subscribers to be able to go live on my phone, which you are seeing this, you're seeing this through. A lot of you probably is on your phones, and what I'm uploading the footage from is my phone. It's fixing to rain. So with all that being said, I'm gonna cut the video short. I'm gonna try and cut it off at about 15 minutes. The more you guys help me out, the more I definitely appreciate it. And I will definitely catch you on the next video. I am going to post more content, and there's definitely going to be more long format stuff coming out. Probably couple hour content. So I appreciate it. Definitely share to everybody that you know. I am going to provide an email down in the description of YouTube where you guys can contact me, and I am going to work on getting a business phone line where you guys can contact me and we can have a conversation. I appreciate your time, and see you later.